turbo's off again. There's a bloody great big circlip sits in there and holds this outer housing to the inner core. And having closed the circlip up, I've rotated it round so that we're now, let me do it, that's how it'd be on the engine. So we've got a bit more clearance for the pipe basically coming straight up, almost straight up. However, apparently that's the boost valve, and I now need to drill and tap those two so that can go on there. And the only way you can get at it to drill it is by taking the circlip out. And it's bit me twice and I've bled on it. Yeah. Well, I've drilled and tapped the first hole. I've drilled the second one. Finished tapping it, and then I've got to get all the bits of crap out of it. Well, that's us back together. The orientation now. So there's the manifold, fits up to, and that's on a slight incline, and that's pointing up around about 1 o'clock. I've got to get a new piece of hose to come round and connect onto that, and whatever the hell that is, so I'll probably just get a few meters of it. I want to do that before I put it back on. Bit of messing about trying to make sure that I got that connection there pulling straight, not trying to screw around, because it don't end up loosening it off or wearing it away. But it's fairly well aligned now. Yeah. So yeah, bit of a delay, but there we go. Next bit up, we love this. So I've took the front drive shaft or prop shaft off. I've cleaned off the paint to see if I can see the alignment marks. And I've gone all around it, and the nearest I've got, see the green arrow, that's pointing at what I think is an arrowhead. And that's the only line, can't see any arrowhead, but it's the only line running parallel with it, which is ironic because it's how we've got the thing lined up. I have been all over that thing, and there's nothing better. So, and that's with the yokes aligned. Yeah. So as soon as my gator comes, I'm gonna dot mark these two, stick it on, and we'll see how it runs. Well, I thought I'd have a venture into the spraying of paint. So this is the undercoat. I've brushed on onto the steel wheels. I've brushed on the primer, and it's had, I think, 3 coats of primer. Anyway, I'd give it 1 coat with a brush of undercoat on the inside, and it was crap. So I thought I'd have a go at spraying it with my new gun, which is set up with a regulator at the bottom, 1.8 mil needle or aperture, sorry. Biggest problem I've got is I'm getting condensate blowing out here, which basically means that water separator ain't doing anything. And from what I can understand, the water separators really want to be something like 10 foot from the compressor, which gives the air a chance to cool and therefore the water drop out of it. So I've got to have a bit of a rethink. I've got an oversized hose so that I've got ample volume of air to the gun. Anyway, yeah, they're never going to look pristine because of the condition of the steel underneath. But I'm giving them a coat, sorry, 2 coats, 1 brush, 1 spray on the undercoat, and then I'll get on to the top coat. But by the looks of it, I'm going to need to buy another tin of it, because to do all 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 wheels, I've used just over 1 litre of undercoat, and I've got to do the other side yet. So Yeah. Not a big fan of painting. Use my mask. Basically covered myself and everything else. Anyway, you live and learn. That's my first run. That's annoying. This apparently is the undercoat. What I put on before was a white primer over the top of the corollas. Anyway, so that's the first coat of undercoat. I've got to flip them over, give them a coat, and then let them harden, rub it down, give them another coat, and then we'll be on for top coat. Well, that's the last coat of undercoat on the inside. I've got one more to do on the outside of each of the rims. I got an inline water filter, purgeable. That works quite well, and it's a metre below the gun, so it's got the whole of the volume of the feed line, which is I think it's 10 metres for the air to cool and drop its humidity. Gun's working all right. These fittings seem to be a bit, let's say, variable. I bought a box of, I don't know, I think there was 10, which you can't lay my hands on at the moment, and 3 of them haven't bloody, you know, they don't seal on these things. So I don't know. Anyway, I swapped them over and found one that did seal, so I'm happy with that. Right, I'll stop wafting the camera around. Yeah, so basically one more coat of undercoat, and then we're on the top coat. But the colour's the same. It's a tinted undercoat. It's limestone. Looks all right. Yeah, they're never going to be pristine because of the state that we're in to start off with. The pitting was moonscape-like. So all I'm looking for is just getting something which is will last a couple of years until I can afford to buy a new set. And I've got a spare in case I dent one. I have to excuse the background hum. I've got the diesel heater back up and running, and as it's peeing it down outside, it's quite cool in here at 6 degrees. So I'm lifting the temper a bit. On the final, what I hope to be the final top coat on the outside of the wheels. Biggest problem I've got is trying to get the paint down into these gaps. So I'm going to have a fiddle around with a spray gun and get a narrower fan and see how we get on. But yeah, it's been a bit of an epic. I've got the paint on the hot plate set at 55 degrees, so that's warming up nicely. So yeah, once the temperature gets up a bit warmer in here, we'll give it a go. By warming the paint up, I've not got to add thinners. It sprays okay. Some of these are a bit grotty, but I've got 1, 2, 3, and then that one which are only minor corrosion on them, and then the others will do for basically backups or spares, where the pitting's a bit deeper. You can see it on that one down there. So yeah. Anyway, once these are all painted up, they've got to sit around for about a month, let everything harden off, and then get the tyres on them and tubes in them. And then while they're hardening off, I'll probably bring the bulkhead in.